Alright folks, welcome to another league with Legacy's hottest deck. Yes, Reclaimers. Yes, Plague Engineers. Yes, Pigs! This deck has it all. This deck has it all. Deck's good though. Get that trophy? What do you think, Common Sense? What do you think? Go to Twitter and find out. Go to Twitter and find out. God damn it, this deck is so good. This deck is so good. Also, the last match against Jeff was delightful. Absolutely incredible. One of the best matches of Magic that I played in a long time. No Splinter Twin. No Splinter Twin. I don't think this is mulliganable though. Mana so awkward as you thought it would be. Not really, but there are some costs though, right? There are definitely some costs. I'm just playing against Urza Aeons. It's a pretty fucking good start, huh? I think I'm just gonna plow this. I don't think I can beat my opponent drawing 2 cards a turn. Even after drawing Flagstones there, I feel like we're still supposed to plow. We're just gonna fall behind too quickly to that Emery otherwise. Also, well, you know, Chalice. Please don't have Urza or Karn. Okay. That's slightly more beatable than Urza or Karn. Another plow off the top. Another plow. Reclaimer. I wonder if my opponent is going to spend the turn to Chalice. It's an interesting idea. Definitely very lucky that my opponent has not found Echo of Aeons nonsense yet. Okay, they're gonna Chalice. They need to old border every current amulet. Amulets with old border would be pretty sexy, not gonna lie. Okay. There's a Chalice. What else? Second Emery. Please don't find an Echo of Aeons. Please don't find an Echo of Aeons. Appreciate it. Thank you. Sweet. I mean, we're kind of okay here. This Chalice is awkward. Because it doesn't let me double spell. Well, my opponent doesn't really have too much business going on. So I think we just play a fetch and say go. And we can bog. I don't like this. So I guess they're gonna be able to like make mana with Lotus Petal and stuff, but so we do this. Get Savannah. And now we're gonna bog them. And now we're gonna be able. My opponent has one card left in hand, and we're gonna be able to like play Dryad plus activate Reclaimer to clear the Emery, which is nice. Zenith. Well, that gets Collector Roof, right? I guess that seems better. Pass the turn. They can't even sack the Lotus Petal, so they can... I guess that they can sack it to Sai? Yeah, okay, so my opponent should probably sack the like Lotus Petal or whatever to Sai in order to recast the stuff with Emery, and then they are able to get value that way, and they are able to get 1/1 Thopters. They don't see the line. And now we should probably win. Just get Valakut here. Is this lethal? No, it's not lethal. Yeah, it's not lethal. So since it's not lethal, good stuff. Good stuff. This deck is doing some powerful stuff. This deck is doing some very powerful stuff. Gonna sack 4 artifacts. It may be the line, honestly. Just gonna sack 2. Okay. Not sure what they're drawing towards, though. Because I don't think there's anything that gets them out of this mess. Karn doesn't do anything. Urza doesn't do enough. I think we just got them in the lock. And now we can just kill them without even using the attack step. I'm gonna use the attack step though, because it forces my opponent to do something, right? They could have like bracing borrow or something. Not that they probably do, but it's not likely, but probably worth it. 4 sounds great. It's finally happened. What has happened? What did I miss? Oh no, you got there? Wow. Honestly, good for you. That's some dedication. That's some serious dedication to the craft. I assume I've seen all over the probably. Yes, I have. The Spirit of the Labyrinth? Yes. Yes. I'd like to have access to Spirit of the Labyrinth. Probably don't want Fairy Macabres. Plague Engineer is weird, but I kind of want to slow down the psi aspect of things. So maybe 1 copy is fine. I definitely want Reclamation. Oh, Deafening Silence. How do we care for Titania? Not really. Let's do this, I guess. Not gonna keep this one. Alright, friend, do you want to play the classic pile that hasn't been updated in forever and loses hard to dart, or do you want to play the new pile that I'm not familiar with? I would say listen to your heart. Listen to your heart, Stabs. Listen to your heart and look for what would give you the most happiness. Which probably means what would give me the least happiness. It's very likely that those two go hand in hand. Yeah, I'm not keeping this hand. This hands are just pretty bad. Okay, keep this, keep that, and keep that. I will bring in Wasteland. I don't think that's the fight that I want to fight. There are other fights to be fighting, and I think that fighting those other fights is going to be more relevant for our purposes. Chalice on 1. Well, because that's how we lose. I guess that is how we lose. Hopefully this Collector Roof does a lot of heavy lifting. We can get a Triumph here, which is nice. Three mana is a lot less bad than 4 mana. I just don't want my opponent to tap 4 mana. That would be a problem. Because any of their 4 mana threats are an issue for us. This is fine. Some 1/1s are okay. We can deal with some 1/1s. Say hello to my little friends. Sigh. Exactly. Well, please don't have an answer. Thank you. We revealed flagstones to the previous bubble, and we revealed flagstones to this one as well. That's funny. What I'm seeing anything for? I'm just seeing anything for Reclaimer next turn, right? Yeah, Scavenge Genius doesn't do anything, so I'm just gonna see it for Reclaimer. Know this member? How many movie quotes can Jason Sunshine fit on one league? It's a good question. Good attack by my opponent there. I would like to Reclaimer, please. Am I gonna win on a multi 4? Is that what's about to happen right now? I'm just casually gonna win on a multi 4. Because that would be quite exciting. Well, surprise I got myself, I guess. This was so easy to avoid even. Whoops. All it takes is a little effort to just throw the game away, I guess. But I guess that's not that big of a deal. It could be a big deal. But it is not yet. Narset. Into Echo. They're super far away from casting the Echo though. This is game 2, we're up a game. Just don't find LED. Man, I should have... Why did I even attack there? Like, that's... We can't really lose if I just don't attack. We can't really lose if I don't attack. There was just no reason for that attack at all. Yep. Really fucked this one up. Really managed to fuck this one up badly. The good thing is that the Echo is not really doing that much. But imagine if, like, I hadn't attacked. If I hadn't attacked for no reason. Not a good draw. Not a good draw. So now we have to find Plague Engineer. This is game 2. Man, feeling so silly right now. Could have won this game easily. Welcome to my life in Magic, feeling silly. Yeah. It was a big punt. It was a moderately large punt. I guess while my opponent is going off, I'm just gonna eat my food a little bit. We'll probably have to flex them for flex stones. Stabs, thank you for the donation. Couldn't decide between both the meme decks, huh? We're gonna have Stabs Day, I guess. We're gonna have Stabs Fest. Stabs Fest 2021. Okay. Threw the game away, was rightfully punished. Let's move on. Do I want a second engineer? I feel like I want apparition better than engineers. There's also Thoughtseize, which is interesting on the play. I think we just a bit. Feels bad, man. If it makes you feel better, both decks are modern. Okay. I'm kind of intrigued. You have me accustomed to a certain status, right? You have me accustomed to a certain status of memes. So I'm interested to see what you're going to be presenting this time around. So we're going to be keeping this, and I'm going to be holding on to this 5. The best thing about the London Mulligan is the fact that we can throw the stupid Dreadhammer back into the deck, because it's going to come to our opener. Like that's just unavoidable, you know? So London Mull can send it back. I think we can manage to get some kind of blowout going on here. They're spending their turn to Chalice, that's fine with me. I can't believe I threw the previous game away. Should have won very easily. Splinter Twin. What if I blow both of this up on my opponent's upkeep? At that point, it's just the Reclaimer doing the heavy lifting, right? I think I'm gonna force in response to my opponent targeting Ursa's bubble with Emery. I guess this is fine. Snow-covered forest was revealed. So I guess my opponent is just going to flash in Hull Breacher here. Brutal. Here comes the Hull Breacher. Or not. I feel like as long as it's not mana what they're looking for, we're kind of fine. What's this? Urza. Sure. Force of Vigor enter the revealed card zones. Whoops. Whoopsies. So now we can force blow both of these things up. We can bog my opponent or we can start getting zombies. Hull Breacher now. Okay. So I guess we're gonna have to bog now. Because otherwise my opponent's gonna get back the LED and they're gonna be able to... I guess they can spin anyway. Never mind. Yeah, we don't get priority, so if they milled the thing here, they didn't. Okay. So I guess we're bogging here. Just gonna spin Ursa. Crossed fingers. Don't Karn me, bro. The bro Karn me. Not cool. Always forget you can hardcast Force? Yes, you can hardcast Force. Liquid metal coating is an interesting one. The main question is why coating instead of the big one? So if I wasteland the Seed of the Synod, my opponent can't. If I Knight of Autumn it, they can't recast it with Emery, right? Is that how that works? So this seems like the most value I'm going to be getting from Emery. From Knight of Autumn, I guess. Because anything else I can blow up, they can just get back with Emery, so... And now whatever they coding... Whatever they coding, I'm just gonna sack to Reclaimer. And we get Field of the Dead. Okay, that's the draw for turn. One is classic model deck and the other one is a remake of the deck. They should both be quickly, so that's a bonus. Alright, sweet. Hook me up with them lists. Probably gonna be playing them next week, not this week. You got a coding. Sky Ascendancy combo and... Well, that's the same deck, right? They can't lock Reclaimer. No, but they can minus for a Bite Needle effect, right? If they minus for a Needle effect, we're fine. Because my opponent doesn't know how the Seed of the Synod interaction works. Ramming up Excavator. It's not a bad one. Not a bad one. So here I'm throwing away a Knight of Autumn. But my opponent either Karn takes 2 or they need to throw the Hull Breacher. So I think this is fine. Sweet. Obviously, that's an amazing exchange for us. But yeah, that's definitely a great exchange for us because now if my opponent draws a wheel effect, like we get to draw 7, so. And they don't get infinite mana. Two versions of the deck, honestly, I just feel like your 5-0 streak needs to stop. That's fair. Jiskai is a... Okay, that's a bad deck for you. Okay, so it's both versions of the same deck then. So we're gonna have a Jiskai Ascendancy deck, I guess. Just Sky Ascendancy Day. Ensnaring Bridge. Sure. That messes things up a little bit for sure, because now the Karn can get to do some nonsense. Chalice for 1. Okay, so we have some pretty good top decks here. Probably the most important is Dryad. Dryad is probably your best top deck here. And I think I'm gonna double Wasteland my opponent. Dryad. Heath doesn't do anything. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I do have access to 6 mana, which is awkward. They can't lock me out this turn. Am I just Caracasing here? I think I'm Caracasing. Caracas Emery, now that they drew the bubble. Okay, so my opponent's spinning. Well, I can't waste on them too much when there's an Urza in play, right? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get them to a point where I can Caracas. And I can Caracas the Urza and my opponent then can't recast it. 1, 2, 3. Well, we can't do both though. Dryad. There's being good, chat, and then there's being me. There's being good, and then there's being me. So I guess that we want to get a fetch land here, because we have to kill the Urza. Sometimes I hate you. Yo, hate is a strong word. Hate is a pretty strong word. Isn't it? Petition to change the point word to if we draw a Dryad we win. Was that turn good? Maybe. Maybe it was a good turn. Who am I to say? Who am I to say what a good turn is? If you think about it, chat, what is a good turn? If you stop to think about it, what is a good turn? Is this a good turn? Is maybe top decking top decking your answer to the Ensnaring Bridge a good turn? Are we considering that to be a good turn? Oh, I didn't kill the Ember for value. My bad. Don't get tricked by what it says here. We actually won this match 3-0 because I threw away game 2 with conviction. Threw away game 2 with conviction. There is indeed a whitelisted emote. Evolutionary Leap. It's kind of cool. It's a cool card. This list looks very nice. Thank you. I think it is very nice. I think I care too much about the land here. Old Border Utopia Sprawl. Yeah, that could be cool. Old Border Utopia Sprawl is nice. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Maybe this is way too aggressive of a Swords to Plowshares, but I think it's fine. And we're gonna Scene It for Dry Diver here. If my opponent has the days, they do. That means that we don't get True Name Nemesis, which is a big deal. And I was still not going to be playing Excavator in today's, so seems like a fine exchange. If my opponent has Wasteland, things get a little bit more annoying, but I don't think they do. And again, as long as my opponent's not beating me down with 4-3 in the air every turn. Like if my opponent wants to play a longer game, that's exactly the kind of game that I want to play, so. It's decent draw, I think. Thank you for the follow, Light Flame. Wow! Yes! Speaking of good exchanges. Sprite Dragoon. That's our last card. That's our last card. So we're probably gonna just Apparition this. My opponent could draw into exactly days. They chose to not shuffle. So if I find a land, an untap land off the top, we don't. So I guess I'm gonna play Excavator then. And we're gonna try to get value from this. But if they have days, it's not really that big of a deal. You may choose to play a land and tap. Yeah, fair. Gotta love technicalities. Magic players love technicalities. Okay, so now there's no way that I can answer my apparition on a 1-for-1 basis. Opponent could find a waste here, which would be kind of annoying. I'm gonna get a Triumph. And I think I'm just copying the Triumph with the Super. Oh, wow. Start here. We need to slow down their clock. Does that mean I'm missing my land drop on purpose here? I think it does. No, I think it doesn't actually. Because if my opponent has like Wasteland in 2 days and they just daze my Play Engineer next turn, and it's just an absolute disaster, so... Swift Spear, no attacks. And I think I'm not attacking here because there's just no reason to do that. Thoroughly block with Dryad though. Land is not bad because it allows me to do this. Tracker's so good. And I'm cracking right now because I don't want to play this, and if I find another land... If I find another land, I definitely want to make sure that I can play it and I can get my clue ASAP. Bold my tracker, sure. I'll block you. I'm gonna hold on to this land though because of holding on to the land because of Valakut. Just gonna name it human. This kills Delver and it makes his sphere smaller. It also kills young PC. Edpith, ¿qué tal? Todo bien. This is bad if my opponent finds exactly... Pride Dragon. Or if they found exactly True Name Nemesis. Those were the two things that punished me, obviously. But so now Valakut is lethal. Dreadhorde could run away with the game. Yeah, Dreadhorde would be pretty bad for us. Yeah. We probably have to fetch, right? Like we need to clear the top. And I'm not playing around Bolt because if my opponent had Bolt, it was better for them to deal me damage. So I'm going to play the fetch land, but I'm not going to crack until I know what my opponent's got going on there. I mean, that's how a game-winning sequence starts. And that was maybe a reason to want to get the Wasteland. But the problem is if I get the Wasteland, I'm not shuffling the top of my deck. And if I'm not shuffling the top of my deck, then I know that I'm drawing dead next turn as well. Minibits for you to fly and meet me, but it turns out I'm stuck and I end up chaining you up in my basement and making you stream for your dinner. I mean, that's not a bad deal. So they are landing to double bolt or like chain lightning or whatever. We're dead. Come on. Wow. Are those the actual same cards? Barring the scavenge units, but we saw Wasteland and we saw the other thing. So if their last card were Bolt, I would be dead, right? So I think I have to jam. Good, got him. Engineer. Spirit. Collector Oof out. Bog out. Wasteland in. That was game 1. Yeah. This deck is feeling strong, chat. This deck feels very strong. The thing I don't like about this hand is that it doesn't really have a way to leverage the Claimer very well. It's not a bad draw though. We're gonna get bolted. Yeah. Blue red. This card is very fucking scary. Plow? Plow? Caracas. Caracas. Playing around Wasteland. In case my opponent has Wasteland plus Bolt. There's a bolt. Maybe this is gonna be problematic, but I think that it's fine. Oh man. Yeah, I'm just gonna jam. I'm gonna yam! Daze me, papa. Daze me. No, daze. Interesting. Aw. So Dragon already good in modern, then you add in legacy level instants and sorceries. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty strong. Pretty strong. Poor man's Dreadhorde. Kind of, right? It just has to get countered, right? It doesn't. Definitely feels like I want to keep my opponent stuck on mana, right? Bolt face. That's scary. So we are dead to double bolt. Dead to double lightning bolt. All right. We have successfully been got. Who is definitely not playing around price progress. So obviously my opponent is playing a super aggro version of Blue Red Delver. They're playing super aggro, so yeah, they may not be playing Wasteland, they may not be playing like stuff like Blood Moon or anything like that. Yeah, I'm honestly considering bringing in Knuckle instead of Wasteland number 3. Roy Bull, thank you for the follow. The thing about cutting Titania is that I don't think it's worse than my other cards. Like, I think my other cards are worse than Titania. That's the issue that I have with cutting it. This is not a coward stream. This is not a coward stream. If you came to see a coward stream, this is not the stream for you. Definitely not an argument for getting Triumph there, but then I'm just time walking myself. Also, I'm probably going to draw a Flagstone, so I want to make sure that if my Reclaimer dies, I can spare it, you know. Fire the Islet. So I'm going to be Wastelanding here. The reason for that is with my opponent leading on turn 1 Fiery Islet, that tells me that their hand is just bad. Like they don't have Their mana is not gonna be easy, so maybe I was just debated, which is possible. Oh yes, yes, surgical your wasteland. This is not a good plan. I strongly recommend against using surgical to get rid of my wastelands. It's not a good idea. It's not gonna work out very often. But if you do, I do recommend, however, that you take the one in my graveyard because it's gonna help me, like it's gonna be good with Raminap, or it's gonna help me grow my Reclaimers. Forked Bolt. Disgusting. Again, the plan is to make sure that my opponent never has a clock. If they never have a clock, we don't care too much about price of progress. If they never have a clock, it's a lot easier for us to leverage our better cards. Yeah, the CMC is always one. If they attack, I'm gonna block. Because that means this is effectively a time walk plus take a lightning bolt from your hand, or like a chain lightning or whatever. And I'm definitely into that. Like that's a 2-for-1 exchange, and then that means that my Spirit of Labyrinth is just free to resolve, and I can swing with it. So now cantrips are off the table. Yep. Yep. Yep, yep. Yep, yep, yep. Zenith. As I was saying, make sure that you actually take the wasteland from your opponent's graveyard when you're surgical. What are we holding Caracas open for? Nothing. It's just... I had to leave one of the lands open, right? This keeps growing. It just keeps growing. I can't stop it. It's out of control. Out of control. Yeah, just like bringing in surgical against a Maverick style deck. That's just... It's just not a good plan. It's just like that is just wrong. They surgical the wasteland, but wasteland is worded in such a way where it doesn't actually exile it, which is weird. But it is actually the way it works. It's an interesting templating. Interesting templating. Yep. Ancient Tomb. Chalice for 1. Oh. But wait, there's more? So this has to be Urza Aeons, right? Yep. Oh, this is great. Did I beat Jeff? Yeah. Another Chalice on 1. Okay. Into Emery. Which I'm gonna bounce again. But what my opponent obviously is trying to do here is they're trying to set up, to find another, what's his name, right? Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna get Savannah. They're trying to find they draw 7, right? That's their plan right here. They did. What am I supposed to do here? I think I want to... Oh, fuck. They're gonna play Hush. Oh, they're gonna play the 3-drop. We can't beat that, right? We can't beat the 3-drop. Well, I can't. If I could wasteland them, I would. Like, where... I made my land drop already. I think we just have to Emery again. Just have to bounce the Emery. My opponent's gonna play like the 3-2. Or maybe not. Okay. Now they're gonna spin the wheel. Yep. I like my previous hand a lot better. Yep, like my other hand a lot better. So next turn we get to play a fetch, play Titania. They found Urza. Yeah, obviously they found Urza. They just drew 7, right? Hull Breacher, that's the card I was thinking of. Man, we just cannot find a stupid land card that does anything. Stupid chalices are messing me up. Just gonna bounce Emery again. It's not like we have any other options. And I think it's better to bounce Emery than to bounce Urza, and they just get more constructs. Sure. I'm somehow managing to like find all of the worst fucking draws. Those are some big constructs. Well, we can't mill them out when they're just shuffling again, right? Big yikes. Big yikes. That's a big pile of shit. Well, now I feel like we're dead. Up until the previous wheel, I was feeling kind of okay, but like that one was just too much. So we got 2 of these. We bring in spirits, force, reclamation. Nah, Hushbringer is bad. Hushbringer hurts us more than our opponent. I don't think we want Thoughtseize, it's just a really bad top deck. It could be okay on the play, Thoughtseize that is, but... We need to answer Narset, Hushbringer, and Ursa. Not all of them at the same time. Yeah, Pig is solid. Pig is definitely solid in this matchup. That's for sure. Gonna lead on Deafening Silence. Off the Savannah. I think turn 2 I'm gonna Spirit though. Instead of Zenith. Raven Form. It's the card, I guess. We Spirit now, and then next turn we're gonna oof. It makes sense though, right? It actually does make sense. I could scene it for Oof, but I think I'm just gonna scene it for Reclaimer. And then I'm gonna upkeep Plow the Emery. And I didn't attack because of this guy. I got by this earlier today already. Take 3 is fine. Yeah, Hullbreacher is great in that deck for sure. As long as they don't have Urza, we're fine. But Urza would probably be a beating. But now my opponent doesn't have good attacks anymore. Because Reclaimer's big. Thick Reclaimer. That was not bad. So Urza is a little bit more manageable now. Karn for Ballista. Yep. I'm out of planes? How did I draw all of my planes? Fuck. Well, that's really bad news. Shit, that's very bad news. Yo, Arkan, how's it going? Welcome everybody from Arkan's stream. We're playing some green-white Reclaimer here. Doing pretty well so far. Doing pretty well for ourselves. I think I'm gonna hold on to these Swords to Plowshares for now. That is awful though. Yeah, I don't think my opponent has any draw 7s. We're gonna see what they do. But if they go for something like Lattice, we can actually get them. Yep. I'm plowing the ballista because the ballista can actually grow. And then I'm gonna sack here, and then I'm gonna attack, so my opponent needs to chump, but then next turn I'm gonna be getting a zombie. So sack this. We have field in play already, so I guess we get Wasteland. Sure. So now we attack Karn. Opponent needs to chomp with Hull Breacher. If they have Urza, we're fucked. If they have Urza, we're fucked. But if they don't have Urza, we can potentially clear the Karn. My opponent pluses on the lattice. So they need to have another creature here. Fuck, man. Yeah. It's literally the only card that matters. No other card that my opponent could have would matter, but exactly Urza is the only card that matters. And it's exactly what my opponent had. Alright, GG's. And just like that, the 7-0 run gets stopped. Any creature in 20 minutes less would get us hard. Sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess they need to have one of their 12 creatures. Splinter Twin, let's go. Uh-oh. What's going on with everybody playing the Urza deck today? Jeez, everybody's just jamming Urzas. Okay. Sucks for us. It's our third time today playing against an Urza deck. So our best draw would be Dryad, probably. I could go for Wasteland. I don't think that does too much. So I'll probably have to bog here. just main phase. To get rid of both the Embry value and also the Echo of Aeons. We're gonna be taking a hit. Hopefully it's not too much. My opponent has only 3 cards left in hand. I don't have that much mana. Next turn we can Knight of Autumn into activate Reclaimer again. Start setting up a powerful turn for the following turn. I'm gonna play an Uro Hullbreacher deck. There are some, I'm not sure they're that good though. Well, Ancient Tomb is pretty good with Urza. Okay. So I guess they have Hullbreacher. Yeah, Hullbreacher is the only reasonable explanation, but now we can try it. They need force, or we're gonna be in really good shape. We don't have force. So I think this locks it up. Oh, Hullbreacher. Never saw it coming. So they're gonna hard cast the thingy. Get Vesuva, copy this, kill this, and I guess we're gonna kill the Emery? Because we do have an answer. Both draw 7. They need to have some really messed up hand that they have to have found off of these Echo of Aeons in order for me to be in bad shape here. But the challenge just doesn't do anything. Because they played a land already. Oh no, they oh yeah, they did. They played the fetch. So they need to have a really messed up hand. And they don't. You did? Yep. Okay. Alright, so sideboarding again. Force of Vigor, and I've been bringing in Semian's Reclamation. I'm not sure whether I want this card or not. Maybe I just should not have it in the deck. We can try bringing in Thoughtseize. I think I'd rather have Plow than Thoughtseize though. Yeah, the problem with Thoughtseize is that we only have 2 copies, right? So if it's not exactly in an opening hand, it's just a dead card. And as you saw, like it's not common for the games to be over on turn 2 or something, right? Like the games usually take a little bit longer. And like we're both interacting back and forth. So Thoughtseize just makes for a miserable top deck, not only because it's you know naturally a bad top deck by design, but also because of Chalice. So I'm not super into Thoughtseize in the matchup. particularly on the draw, when my opponent gets the first crack at things. The problem is that all of our other cards are better than Thoughtseize. That's the main issue, in my opinion. It's not that Thoughtseize is bad or anything, it's just that Thoughtseize is worse than the other cards that we have in our deck. Yeah, this is a mulligan. Not gonna keep this. These I can keep. That's a good top deck. That fits really nicely into our curve. Force of Will, pitching Echo of Aeons. Chalice for 1. Sounds good. I think I'd rather play the anti-combo piece instead of fetching for Reclaimer. And I think I'm just gonna fetch for Oof. Scavenging, oof. And with only 2 mana, I think it's safe to jump to serve here. My opponent had 3 mana, I wouldn't attack, but alright, that's the best thing that they can do. Oh. I thought that was Urza. Well, we can beat this a lot more easily. Like, what do they get here? Like, Ensnare Bridge? Okay. But we don't care about Bridge because I already have... We're gonna get a Reclaimer here. I'm just gonna Wasteland their Ancient Tomb. We clear the Karn. Swing for 2. They still have 5 cards in hand. Your quest to play the Reclaimer decks, have you tried Green White Depths? I have not. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty comfortable about my position. I could attack with Reclaimer to make it a 2-turn clock, but I think this is fine. Mentor. Well, good thing I didn't attack with the Reclaimer and I'm getting value instead. Like, this is good. This is good for sure for my opponent. Definitely good for them. Probably not enough. But most definitely good for them. Not sure how I feel about the Mentor sideboard plan. Seems a little bit sketchy. Is that the best draw? We play Dryad, play this. We get 1 trigger. Seems like enough. Savannah. Valakut. Kill your dude. Can I get punished by something here? I don't think so, right? We're just gonna serve. Yep. Okay, 2-1 versus the Echo of Aeons deck. 2-1 versus the Echo of Aeons deck. Seems to be rough of a matchup though. Not really. I mean, that's the beauty of the Urza decks, is that you have some hands that are just unbeatable, right? Like you do have certain hands that are just, they will beat any deck. When they go turn 1, you know, play Lance, Emery, like LED into Echo after dropping a Chalice, like whenever they do that stuff, it's just gonna beat every deck is gonna lose to that. But in my experience, if you do get a turn, your lock pieces are overall very powerful, and they don't have very good answers. Like we just saw, my previous round opponent was playing the sorcery from what's the name of from Kaldheim, right? Like, that's not a great card, but that is just to show how how much that deck struggles for ways to interact with the Collector Roof or something. So why the Urza deck will never be tier 1, it's too high rolly. I think it's very powerful. This hand is, I think, a little bit too slow. This hand is also very slow. In that Triumph, worse than Temple Garden. This hand I'm gonna keep. Ship that and ship that. Just lose it to itself too much. I don't think it loses to itself that much. It's more of it loses to certain cards. Or like it's not impossible to interact with, but like the fact that all of the deck's cards are just straight up haymakers really punishes like Force of Will style decks. I lost the finals of the showcase in like sometime last year. I can't even remember when it was, to that deck with blue-white control, and like my forces just didn't do anything. Turn 1 basic swamp into Thoughtseize. What's up, Donnie? How's it going? I feel like they had Force turn 0 there. Why not use it? I don't know. Maybe they have a Fatal Push. Opponent chose not to shuffle though, so I'm probably going to assume that they have an answer to Reclaimer, maybe a push. Or maybe not. I guess they did have the push. Maybe a misclick. It's not looking great. Not looking great by any means. If my opponent goes him to Torak here, we're gonna be in very bad shape, but there are some cards that bring us back into the game. Just blue-black control? Because they didn't get a red source, so maybe it's not Grixis. So I guess that our best draws are gonna be just like lands. At this point, it's going to be specifically Valakut. New Prime is pretty sick. Yeah, we talked about it a bunch, Donnie. I think it's awesome. The best possible thing could have happened. Someone didn't have access to the dual lands. Would you still recommend playing this deck? If so, what would you replace them with? I mean, it's just like every deck in Legacy, right? It's not a matter of can you replace the dual lands. It's a matter of like, do you accept the fact that you're playing an objectively worse deck? Do you accept the fact that you're just playing an objectively worse deck? Like, if that's something you're okay with, like you could just play Shocks. I'm not playing Savannah because I'm playing around K-Command now because I can, and also like we were unlucky enough to somehow manage to draw exactly one of the few. We have like 2 lands that we have 2 copies of, and even Flagstones replaces itself with a land that we're missing, right? But specifically Savannah is the only card left because we used the forest already that we're playing 2 copies of. Every other land we just have 2 copies of, but we somehow managed to find the only one. They banned my Dryad. Yeah, I actually did. I think the list that I was playing with Thief of Sanity was Grixis, but I did play a couple of leagues with a Thief of Sanity deck list. It was a lot of fun. Thief of Sanity is a pretty messed up card. But imagine if this land have actually allowed me to, instead of this fucking Savannah that I have chilling in my hand now, imagine if I had been able to make zombies 1 turn earlier, right? Maybe it would have been enough to prevent my opponent from attacking, or I could be clocking them back. Just everybody just randomly jams Whole Breacher into their deck. Just thinking Massacre here. Yeah, Massacre would be pretty good for us. It's a Spectre. I guess I'm just gonna pack it in. Like, I can't keep up with their stuff, and we moved to 5 and died, so not that big of a surprise. Thoughtseize seems pretty solid. Bog is okay against Snapcaster. Spirit of the Labyrinth seems fine. Plague Engineer is kind of meh. This sucks. This sucks. Okay. Wasteland is interesting. I think I like all of my other lands better though. What a relief there's no one blue-black ritual. That would be interesting. A ritual that gives you mana of multiple different colors at the same time. Can hate your second 7 now. I mean, it's just luck, right? Literally the only land. Because all of my other lands I would have been able to trigger field 1 turn earlier. It would have probably not been enough, right? Like it would have probably just been bad for me anyway, but it would have been better. Also, knowing the matchup, if I had known that I was playing against blue-black control, I would have kept that first hand, of course. Mark Molling, thank you for the follow. Can we go 9-1 in today? How do we feel about going 9-1 in today? No Maverick? Yeah, I'm just playing a better version of Maverick. It's not a better version of Maverick. It's not. But it's okay. Everybody loves somebody who speaks in absolutes, right? Everybody loves somebody who speaks in absolutes. Absolutely, exactly. That's what I mean. Whew. 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 Oh my, that hotness. The hotness. You got the push opponent? You'd better have the push. Thoughtseize I'm okay with. Okay. I got another one. Force. Which some of your modern green white Valakut and went to see if you were on now. Glad I'm in. Yeah, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Always a good time having newer folks, especially those who come from YouTube. That's what the YouTube is there for mostly. I was so hoping for an all water green Sensitive. You know what, Donnie? I hadn't thought about that. And now that you made me think about it, I'm upset that that didn't happen. Why didn't we get old border green Sensitive? What is Wizards thinking? I came from YouTube, it's not all good. Oh, stabs. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. I'm not sorry. I have to be honest, like streams where you are here, the quality of the memes is significantly higher. Womp womp. Playing around the other dude. What's the name of the other dude? The other 3-drop. That's busted stuff. Memes are everything. Yeah. Strong agree. So you are green white mostly. You can check out the deck list here. So if they play a thief here and they don't have force, we probably just win if we find a land. Because that means we get to Dryad plus Flagstones and suck Flagstones, get Valakut and win, so. So this is the turn. This is the key turn. Love the Dryad Company deck at night. Yeah, that deck was a lot of fun. That deck was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to be making more videos with that. I'm probably going to be working on that tomorrow, maybe. Because that was very impressive. Like, I really enjoyed that league that I played. Him to Torak. Back to being playable in Legacy, I guess. Back to basics. That's annoying. That's annoying. Not unbeatable. Not unbeatable, but definitely annoying. And we're short enough on lands that I can't go fetch for a basic. I just need more lands in play right now. Honestly, it was all about the Hymn to Torak getting my fetch land instead of my basic planes. If my opponent had gotten if I had been able to fetch and Thoughtseize my opponent, we would be in significantly better shape right now. No, we just cannot find land for the life of us. Build a mid-range, green-white Knight of the Recreated Deck with a splash of Heliod and Stoneforge Mystic. Ranger Captain is nuts. I thought about Ranger Captain, but then I wasn't super into it. Well, we're if my opponent has opposition agent, we're just dead. So I'm just conceding to the opposition agent here. Yeah, okay. We got. We didn't manage to get that 4-1. Deck felt solid. We did get punished by the Triome a couple of times, where it was just an ETB top land, and if this were a Temple Garden event, it would have been a lot better. But to be fair, like the Plague Engineers did very well. I really like Plague Engineers, not too high on Thoughtseizes. This card has felt just super meh. And even in that last match, it's just like we're just stuck here with a bunch of Thoughtseizes and nothing to do with them. And yeah. Yeah, I think it was a very obviously telegraphed opposition agent, but like what am I supposed to do instead, right? I have 2 mana to work with every single turn. And that's it. I only have the 2 mana to work with. So I have like a 5-drop and 2 Thoughtseizes that I can cast, and like I just need a way to get around it. So I can't beat it. But if my opponent doesn't have it, maybe I have a chance. Thoughts about the list. Mana continues to suck, honestly. Mana continues to suck. We didn't get paired against any Doomsday, which I do expect to be good. So I'm never gonna play Basic Swamp in this list. Again, I'm already talking about how the meta base sucks, and like it is. A Basic Swamp is it's basically a colorless land, and I'd rather just have good lands instead. Like if I'm gonna have a colorless land, I'd rather play this Wasteland. You know what I'm saying? The list is doing something powerful though, which is what I like. I do like the fact that it's doing something powerful. And it feels like it has different strengths and weaknesses than a deck like Maverick, for example. Plague Engineer was nuts though. So I kind of want to continue exploring that. I kind of want to continue exploring that. What I wonder is Knuckle even worth it at the point where I have Plague Engineer in my deck? If I'm stretching my mana to make Plague Engineer playable, Plague Engineer kind of does the thing against all of the matchups where I want Knuckle, with the exception of Hogak. But like Hogak is a good matchup for us anyway, so it's not like we need the Tabernacle or anything. But against stuff like Slivers, against stuff like Elves, like those are the matchups where Knuckle really shines. And like that's the reason why I have Engineer in my list. So at that point, do I have just too many cards for those matchups? Yeah, I mean, there's some folks out there playing slivers. I don't think it's a bad deck. There's Daniel Nunes who always puts up the results with slivers. Crystalline Sliver is fucked. Yeah, that card is real messed up. Faisal, will you do Modern League? No, Mark Malling. I'm gonna be doing Modern tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing Modern all day. We're probably gonna have time to do 3 leagues tomorrow even. So lots of Modern tomorrow, but unfortunately today it's coming to an end. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. With the list. Maybe take another spin with Thoughtseize. Like the list felt fine, right? I didn't think it had too many holes, so the pig still needs to prove itself though. It's been good for me in the past, but it's the fail rate is not miserable, but it's pretty bad, right? Like it's just not a great card if you aren't getting actual value from it. I just don't think I want a card like Gadoktig. Like Gadoktig is just old tech. Titania seems very slow. I mean, that's why it's a one-off, right? Like this is a card that you can scene it for, and it just comes down and wins the game. I mean, it's not a coincidence that there's just one Titania and nothing else. Yeah, for sure, Mark Molling. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hanging out, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you say hi. I'm thinking of a bunch of cards. I'm thinking of Thalia. I'm thinking of Leyline. I'm thinking of more Hushbringer / Deafening Silence. I got many cards in my mind, and I'm trying to see how everything would fit within the deck list and what would work and what would not work. What matchups do I want to improve? Mostly spell-based combo. Spell-based combo is the weakest one. And specifically, we're fine against stuff like TES and whatnot because we have a bunch of lock pieces with Deafening Silence, and now we have access to Thoughtseize, we have access to like Wasteland can be relevant. Collector Oof, like in matchups where Collector Oof is great, I feel a lot more comfortable, like the Mono Blue Aeons deck, for example. I feel a lot more comfortable against those kind of decks because I have cards like Collector Oof. But against Doomsday, for example, like Doomsday attacks from an angle that we're definitely not ready to exploit. Thoughtseizes do help in that angle specifically. So that's why the main reason for wanting Thoughtseize was specifically because of the Doomsday matchup. Same thing with Hushbringer. Like these are the cards that are basically there for the Doomsday matchup. Like yes, we got paired against Espervile, and Hushbringer came in there, and we didn't get to cast it, but still, like it would have been good there. But Thoughtseize is Thoughtseize, It's just good in a variety of matchups, but Doomsday is just like, it doesn't care about graveyard hate. It just doesn't care about a bunch of angles that we are able to attack. No, they can work through Deafening Silence very easily because Thassa's Oracle is a creature. That's what makes Doomsday such a good deck, right? Precisely that it's really hard to tackle. Yeah, particularly playing against a good Doomsday opponent, they have already figured out which are the the something of spring or something like that, or autumn. Veil of Autumn or something. I don't know, like the thing that you sack a land and you cycle, or Street Wraith. So like they have a bunch of ways to work around cards like Deafening Silence. And Spirit of Labyrinth is good as well. So like all of these cards are there mainly for Doomsday, and I still think it's a bad matchup for us. Edge of Autumn, yeah, that's the one. Torpor Orb, yeah, I mean we have Torpor Orb on a stick. I mean this card is here literally because of Doomsday. I just DFO slow piles with Massacre and pushes. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea. Yeah, again, like there's just so many angles, right? Like there's so many angles. We don't care that much against cards like Massacre. Fatal Push is more annoying, but like Reclaimer and Dryad very often just don't care about Massacre, and those are the cards that really offer the pressure. Those are the cards that really clock. But yeah, I mean, it's the problem of playing a deck that is unexplored territory. You have so many options, and then it kind of becomes a little bit overwhelming. Arguably, that is part of the fan, though, right? Alright, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. We're gonna be doing Modern tomorrow, so I'll see you there. Take care. Bye-bye.